Hello YouTube, it is 6:27 p.m. Sunday, January 30th, 2022. Love this bus stop. It's just a sign on a pole. We got dirt, we got a shoulder, and that's it. And no junkies and no homeless people. So for a stop that I get off at as opposed to get on at, that's pretty much perfect. And to be honest, if I was waiting for a bus, I'd be quite comfortable just sitting there on the irrigation control thing. So I've never been a pedestrian at this intersection before. In fact, I'm kind of surprised. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. There's a stoplight here. Hello. Every time I look southbound on 79th Avenue as I'm walking to the park and ride, I see it. So I knew it was here. But 79th Avenue and Van Buren, willing to bet money. This is one of my co-workers around in the corner right there. There's jacked up SUV. I've actually got a nice sidewalk here. No sidewalk where the bus left me off, but there's a pretty nice sidewalk here on 79th Avenue. So that massively huge building, let me zoom in on it there, that starts there and goes and goes and goes and goes for seemingly forever. So big that even when I zoom all the way out, I can't get it all in the frame. That would be GYR3. That's gonna be my home for the next, well, not continuous, obviously, but wow, mandatory overtime this week. I don't know that I've ever had a job with mandatory overtime, the more I think about it. In fact, most places that I've worked where I actually punched a clock were very, very adverse to giving out overtime. I've had several places I worked at where they would be upset if you didn't watch your time clock and get yourself off the clock before you dipped into overtime. And if you were coming anywhere close, you were to let a higher up know so they could make a decision as to whether you were actually worth that extra overtime pay. Although, to be fair, quite a few of those places that never gave overtime, I did tend to get overtime at, so I guess I was worth that extra pay. This is a neat view. I've never really noticed this before. I forget what the hell those mountains are called. I want to say the White Tanks, but I think the White Tanks are further north of that. But granted, they're not huge mountains, but there's the hills on the west side of town. So that's pretty much where Verado is, where those hills start. Yeah, this is you know, it I don't know why it never really occurred to me to take the Route 3 over to here, but yeah, this is a very convenient walk to the warehouse. In fact, I feel like this is probably shorter than the walk that I did when I first went to figure out where the hell the warehouse was a week and a half ago, walking from the Waffle House over at 83rd and McDowell. I mean, it's taking the McDowell bus is kind of a no-brainer for me, just because I can walk from the McDowell bus to the Amazon warehouse, and I can walk from my home to the McDowell bus. But man, if I was just, it's hard to say which is the worst route in terms of just inconsistently, you know, or regularly not showing up on time, and having scummy people on the bus and sketchy things happening on the bus, and sketchy things happening at the bus stops for the route, and so on and so forth, and transfer times that don't work with other routes. But if I was just say, you know, in the last, at this point I've been riding the bus consistently for over 4 months, and if I was to pick a route that I least want to be using at this point, it would be the 17. Yeah, it's just all of those bad things and then some. It's yeah, not a pleasant thing to be on. So busy, so crazy. And the funny thing is that Van Buren Street has a way worse reputation just as a street than McDowell Road does. But the Route 3 bus that I just got off of, that was an absolutely pleasant ride. I don't feel like there was anybody on that bus that was sketchy. Y'all saw me videoing at the bus stop. There was no issues at all that I had at the bus stop. This is the truck driver entrance. And so many docks. Yeah, there are Google reviews for this facility. Truck drivers don't like us. I have no control of that. It is a little disheartening, but not anything I have the power to fix. I just move as many boxes as I can in a given night, and hope to at some point move into something. I don't know. You know, I'm on the fence. I'm honest to God. I'm happy just shoving boxes on a conveyor belt. But I am excited the potential for advancement within, Amazon as a company. I mean, who knows? Today I'm shoving packages on a conveyor belt, and it's not out of the question that in 5 years I could be designing the logic algorithms that controls those conveyor belts. So, in fact, right now they've got a scholarship program for, I want to say computer science or something of that nature, and I think I'm going to apply for it. I mean, I'm probably not exactly the person they're looking for, but I feel I'm a little smarter than the average bear, and while my knowledge when it comes to computers is in many ways really dated, I certainly have a lot of hands-on experience. And I'm not sure why I'm taking this walkway other than hoping against all hope that it's going to lead to where I'm going, and of course it doesn't. Of course it doesn't. Because nobody comes in here on foot. Everybody drives. Oh well, I was optimistic. Anyway. So, gosh, what was I going to talk about other than how much I enjoyed that ride? Yeah, I actually had a great conversation with a guy who I honestly figured was a little younger than me, and actually ended up being in his early 60s. It's so funny to me now that I'm in my 50s how I notice, and I guess I've been noticing this honestly since I was in my 30s, but I'm like way more keenly aware of it now, how people in their 40s, 50s, and 60s can age so differently. How, case in point, the trainer that I was with my second day here at Amazon, whose name is Liz. I don't know her last name, so I guess I'm keeping her anonymous enough. Love her to death. And I would have guessed her upon seeing her as being maybe 10 years younger than me. She's fairly damn gorgeous and exceptionally fit, and just honestly reminds me a lot of what my girlfriend looked like 10 years ago. And then she told me that she just turned 64. Like, wow. Wait, what? You're well more than a decade older than me. Wow, just wow. And everybody else that overheard that was like, wait, what? And somebody else commented that they thought she was like in her late 20s. I wouldn't have pegged her for that young, but I was definitely thinking late 30s, early 40s. And then I meet people. I often meet people at bars, mostly. I meet most people at bars, especially karaoke bars. And that I just assume are older than me. You know, to me, they look, you know, older than me, a decade older than me, maybe more than a decade older than me. And I'm often shocked to find out that they're a decade younger than me. So it's really weird. I mean, the general consensus I get from most people is that I'm holding my age really well, and I think doing this kind of physical work is going to help with that. Anyway, pleasant bus ride over. Pretty excited, although I'm a little scared that of the extra hour mandatory overtime, but I'm in. I'm here for it. And I'm early enough to get me some munchies in the break room before my shift, so I'm gonna wrap this up. And appreciate y'all watching and coming with me on the walk. And there will be more. Most likely I'll shoot a video as I'm on my way out. Not sure if I'm going to take the express bus or take the Van Buren bus in the morning. I do need to in the morning work on my storage, so Van Buren is the most direct route for me.